The problem that we're going to address in this hot seat is being away from home. Now, very commonly, there's an association with stability when it comes to being at home. And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of stress, overwhelm, angst when someone starts a fitness and transformation journey, and then all of a sudden they're taken away from home, like they've got to go and work away, or maybe they've got to go to a main city for some reason or another, right? Some law reason, or for health reasons, or whatever the case may be. Shopping, whatever's taking you away from home is not the problem. What's the problem is the way you're viewing leaving the house, as if the house is the only place you can have stability and routine. And then once you go away, well, you must, everything must kind of go to the wayside. So in tonight's lesson, what I'm going to get you clear on is how to think when it comes to going away, whether that be for business or for pleasure, whether you're going away on this holiday. The way to think is always about damage minimization, okay? I want you to go into any experience outside of your comfort zone with damage minimization. You can apply this to any situation, but we're going to apply it to going away. Now, I'll take you back to a time when Megan and I were first finding our feet in our relationship and meshing lifestyles together. And we would go away, and I would take massive eskies full of food, and she'd be there like, YOLO, I want to, eat out. So we'd have this clash where I was one extreme and she was the other extreme. Over time, we kind of met in the middle and have learned a lot along the way. And I'm going to go into that now. Here's how I want you to think. Let's say you've got your 7-day week here. What will happen is, for example, if you are going away for a weekend, when you first start, you'll find that the wheels will come off quite early. And then when it comes to coming back, you'll find it quite hard to get started once you're back. So for what was meant to be a 2-day trip, you end up getting some collateral damage here and here. And out of an entire week, the percentage there would be likely 40% going away from your goals, and then maybe 60% going towards your goals. Let's say that's just, for example, you've done really well on these days here. To minimize the damage, it's as simple as wiping this out and wiping this out. Now, all of a sudden, what you've achieved just by wiping out the damage or the collateral damage is you've gone from 40% and 60% to 80 and 20. That's progress. That in itself is going to take you forward. Now, how do we minimize the damage here and here? I'll give you an example for us. This would normally be our shopping day. And way back when we were kind of just starting to sort out our habits, on this shopping day, we'd do a half-assed prep. Okay, so we'd do a half-assed prep. And what would end up happening is we'd either run out of food here or run out of food here, meaning we'd wait down, we'd let the fridge run right down before we left, and then be no food by the end of that day, just before we left, or there would be no food when we got back. Now, these are the two key areas you want to focus on having food available, because obviously going away is exciting, but if you can hold off as long as you can before you go away, before you start eating, eating out and enjoying yourself, then you're going to minimize the damage. And the same goes when, as soon as you get back, if you've got food in the freezer and the fridge ready to go, like literally in portion sized meal containers, you can take out and heat up, so that when you land, or when you drive into your driveway and you're hungry, you're not going to the cupboard and you're not grabbing takeaway because you've got nothing in the fridge. There you've minimized damage again. Over a year, if you're minimizing damage over here, and then you're further up towards 95% and 5% compliance in the green area, then you're going to head towards your goals. That's over a 365-day period. And that's the ultimate goal, really, isn't it? Is to achieve a goal and sustain it. And consider that anytime this number changes, then you start to head in the other direction, away from your goals. Or what's worth a mistake? What's worth eating in the wrong direction? For me, there are a few things. I want to make sure that every time that I eat away from my goals, or we all eat away from our goals, it's for a good reason. And for us, we need 3 ticks. And when we get those 3 ticks, we enjoy ourselves, right? But if, for example, we're around people we don't really like, well, we probably won't indulge as much, or we won't eat off the plan. If the occasion's really not worth it, like if it's, something that's a mediocre, like Anzac Day, for example. I mean, if you're eating shit because it's Anzac Day and you're drinking grog, you got to kind of assess your life goals if that's what you're doing on Anzac Day. So that's what we're not going to obviously do as well. We're not going to eat off the plan on that day. And then obviously, if there's a really poor location, like if we've gone to a cafe and the food there we know sucks, or we go to a restaurant and we're really not into it, then we simply will say no as well. Okay, and what we're doing inside of this is we're setting and creating standards for ourselves. Ultimately, what you're doing is you're creating a standard for yourself and what you want to live by, in terms of what you're willing to do and what you're willing to sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice eating cake at your mum's, brothers, uncles, aunties, birthdays, cousins, sister-in-laws, birthdays, and you're having a birthday every single weekend, or 2 birthdays a month, and you're eating cake and you're enjoying yourself and drinking wine, well, you're going to get to the end of the year and you're going to feel crap about yourself. You're going to probably going to look crap as well, right? But if you start to be more selective, then you start to be more consistent over the time. And getting all the way back to Kerry's problem of sticking to a rhythm whilst away, it really comes back to minimizing the damage at home, taking some food with you, especially if you're on the road, because when you're on the road, there's only shit food available anyway. It's not really worth it, right? And then saving yourself for the really nice feeds that you may or may not have when you are away, okay? Really making that a worthwhile experience.